President Obama called it a Christmas miracle. This week, he signed into law a sweeping rewrite of the controversial federal education law known as No Child Left Behind. The new law, called Every Student Succeeds, gives states more control over how to evaluate teachers and schools. But it also makes a profound change to the role of computer science in school curriculums by putting it on par with math and English. Joining me now to discuss this, Code.org CEO Hadi Partovi in Seattle. And Hadi, you've been arguing for this change for years now. Why did it take so long?
Well, thank you for having me on the show, Emily. Changing federal education law is not an easy thing to do. In general, the lawmakers we've spoken to have all been strongly supportive of the idea that computer science should be recognized as part of the education system. So what's taken years is the overall law surrounding the sort of federal laws for education. The part about computer science has been completely bipartisan, not controversial, but we've been waiting for the Elementary and Secondary Education Act to get reauthorized to work computer science into it.
Now, you guys have teamed up with Minecraft and Star Wars to make coding more fun for kids, but I was looking at some of the numbers just in terms of how many schools offer computer science right now, and it's pretty dismal. I mean, give us an idea of just how much work there is to be done to get this into schools.
So there's two sides of the story. If you look at where we are, it's dismal. If you look at how fast things are changing, it's amazingly positive. Right now, only 1 out of every 4 schools in America is teaching computer science. So 3/4 of them, if your student or your child goes to one of those schools, they will never take a course in this fast-changing field. However, the pace of that change is incredible. I think it's almost doubled in the last 2 years, and I think it's going to double in the next 1 or 2 years as well. And right now, 1 out of every 3 schools in the country has tried an hour of code in this country, and worldwide with 50 million students participating, I think we're seeing the world's education system change faster than ever before to embrace this new field.
On that issue of, computer science globally, how does, what we're seeing in the United States compare to the rest of the world?
This is a great story that I myself as an American am proud of. Usually when you think about global education, you don't think of the United States as a leader. Whether it's math or science scores, we're always feeling like we're behind. But as the country that invented the internet or the smartphone, America has always been a leader in technology. And when it comes to computer science education, we're also leading the world. And my organization, Code.org, we've only been around for 2 years. But the Hour of Code campaign that we've come up with has reached every single country in the world. In countries like Russia or Italy, every single school is participating in the Hour of Code. So it's a campaign that started on the West Coast and is now spread to every continent and every country.
Now, in addition to Code.org, you're a seasoned startup investor. You're a founder yourself. You've advised companies like Dropbox and Airbnb and Facebook. And one of the things that we've been talking about is the wide number of open jobs requiring computer programming skills and the small number of graduates with those skills. Our companies, how would you rate the sort of search for talent and the war for talent right now? I mean, are companies desperate for good people?
It's really difficult. Right now, there's 600,000 open jobs for computer programmers in this country, currently open jobs. And these aren't just in the Ubers or Facebooks or Googles of the world. 2/3 of the jobs are in banks and manufacturing and in government, totally outside of the tech industry and in every state of this country. And compare these 600,000 jobs to each year 40,000 graduates in computer science. That's a major mismatch between the hiring that's needed and the students. But the good news is that the work that we're doing is changing tremendously what's happening in terms of what students are learning in school, and we'll see that picture change soon. We have 7 million students taking courses in computer science in elementary and middle and high schools using Code.org's platform. So as those 7 million students learn this field, many of them will go into these jobs, or many of them will go into other jobs with a better understanding of how technology works around them.
So for these companies that you work with and advise, what do you tell them about how to find good people, how to find the people with these skills?
The best way to do it if you're one of these companies is to go to the universities and the university programs. And if you look at what's happening at the university level, computer science is actually the fastest growing field in universities as well. But it's a competitive market out there with 600,000 open jobs and 40,000 annual graduates. It's a kind of a dog-eat-dog world fighting over a very limited pool of talent.
All right. Well, Hadi, it's always great to hear that you are working to make that fight a little less of a struggle. Hadi Partovi, CEO of Code.org, thank you as always for stopping by today.